Questions 26 through 29. Listen to a teacher talking in a history class.
World War II was the worst war in history and killed more people than any other war before. It lasted from 1939 to 1945, starting out from Europe and spreading to nearly every part of the world. About 17 million soldiers died during 6 years of the war. Even more citizens, men, women, and children died from bomb attacks, illnesses, or starvation. Millions of Jews died in German concentration camps. The war left many other people without jobs and homes. Many cities and industries in Europe and Asia were completely destroyed by bombs, and large areas of land were devastated. There are many causes of the war, and some of them go back to the end of the First World War. The end of World War I and the peace that followed in 1919 changed the face of Europe and the borders of countries completely. New nations emerged. The countries that lost the war, especially Germany and Austria, had to give up a lot of land. They also had to pay money to other countries for the damages that happened during the war. After the war, many countries were in debt. The losers had problems paying reparations, and the winners borrowed a lot of money from the United States, which they could not pay back. Inflation in many countries left people without any savings. In the 1930s, the Great Depression started out in the USA, spread to Europe, and stopped the continent's recovery. Millions of people were out of work, and poverty rose. The problems after the war made the governments in many countries weaker and weaker. Two movements became more and more powerful: communism and fascism.
Now answer the questions. 26. What is the main topic of the lecture? 27. According to the lecture, which is not the effect of World War II? 28. According to the lecture, which is not the cause of World War II? 29. What will the teacher probably say next? Questions 30 through 33. Now you will hear part of a radio program.
Dr. Paul Willis, with all the monkeying around that can go on in the playground or even in the office, it seems we could be easily directly descended from monkeys. But our evolutionary relationship is actually much more distant. If evolution is real, why are there still monkeys? How can we be descended from monkeys if they are around today?
This is a question often encountered by evolutionary biologists, but the question itself reveals a couple of fundamental misunderstandings about evolution and how it operates. Firstly, humans did not evolve from monkeys. Instead, monkeys and humans share a common ancestor from which both evolved around 25 million years ago. This evolutionary relationship is supported both by the fossil record and DNA analysis. A 2007 study showed that humans and rhesus monkeys share about 93% of their DNA. Based on the similarities and differences between the two types of DNA, scientists have estimated that humans and rhesus monkeys diverged from their common ancestor 25 million years ago. Similarly, the fossil record has identified ancestors common to both humans and monkeys, such as an unnamed primate fossil from Myanmar found in 2009 and dated as living around 37 million years ago.
Then, did we humans evolve from chimpanzees or other apes?
Well, humans are actually more closely related to chimpanzees and other apes, but DNA evidence again shows that we didn't evolve from them. Chimps and humans share between 98 to 99% of DNA, suggesting that we shared a common ancestor around 6 million years ago.
But how can we share a common ancestor?
The idea of sharing a common ancestor leads to the second major misunderstanding inherent to the question. That evolution is not a linear process where one species evolves into another. Evolution is really a branching process, where one species can give rise to two or more species. The fallacy of linear evolution is most clearly illustrated by the analogy that your grandparents had more than one child, and they each went off and started their own families, creating new branches of your own family tree. The same thing happens in evolutionary families. A species can split into two or more descendant species, and they can split again and again across the generations.
Now answer the questions. 30. What is the main topic of the radio program? 31. What is the fundamental misunderstanding about evolution? 32. What does the study of DNA show about apes? 33. What is the main idea of the family tree theory? Questions 34 through 38. Now you will hear a speaker talking to a class on a trip to the Great Barrier Reef.
Hello, everyone. Stretching over 2,000 kilometers along the eastern coast of Australia, the Great Barrier is a mind-blowing natural wonder. This marine wonderland and UNESCO World Heritage Site harbors one of the richest ecosystems on the planet. Over 2,900 individual reefs compose this complicated living system, along with some 900 islands scattered from the Tropic of Capricorn to the fringes of Papua New Guinea. There are a multitude of places to launch your reef adventure, and a range of ways to see your kaleidoscope spectacle, from diving and exploring by sailboat to a scenic flight or leisurely wandering along the coastline of a coral-fringed island. Donning a mask and fins is the best way to get a close-up view of dazzling corals, sea turtles, rays, sharks, and tropical fish of every color and size. Much of the diving and snorkeling on the reef is boat-based, although there are also excellent reefs surrounding some of the islands. Day trips leave from many places along the coast, as well as from island resorts, and typically stop at 2 or 3 different sites, allowing about 3 hours of underwater time. Full-day excursions to the reef coast around $200, including lunch, snacks, and snorkel gear, with scuba diving an optional extra. If you're eager to do as much diving as possible, a live-aboard boat is the best option. This allows reef-goers to dive up to 4 times a day, including night dives, and visit more remote parts of the Great Barrier Reef. For a sea eagle's view over the reef, take a helicopter or seaplane tour. Popular spots to arrange trips are Arley Beach, with excursions taking in the spectacular Whitsunday Islands, and Cairns with flights over rainforest-covered Green Island.
Now answer the questions. 34. What is the main topic of the introduction? 35. What is the best way to watch the dazzling corals? 36. What can be inferred about the day trip? 37. What is needed most if you want to dive? 38. If you want to have a bird's eye view, what should you do? Questions 39 through 42. Listen to part of the discussion in a science class.
Oh, you gave me a fright. I saw you walk past the window out of the corner of my eye, and just for a moment I thought you were some sort of monster. Then I realized it was you, not a monster at all.
Yeah, your eyes can play tricks on you sometimes, can't they? It's like when it's nearly dark. Sometimes I think I see monsters, too.
It's worse when it's completely dark. Then you can't see anything at all. But you can imagine. Sometimes it really gives me the creeps.
But after a while, your eyes get used to it, don't they? And then you can see a bit anyway.
That's not right. When it's completely dark, no light at all, then you can't see anything, no matter how long you're there. You've got to have light to see.
Well, I reckon you can, when your eyes get used to the dark. But let's not argue about it. You can see me well enough now, can't you?
Yeah, it's light enough here for that. The sun's shining through the window.
But it's not shining on us. It's just shining on the wall over there. But we can see each other anyway.
The light's everywhere. It's day, so it's light.
If it's light, it helps you to see, doesn't it? But what does the light do?
I reckon it's all the light rays bouncing around.
Light bouncing? You're so funny. Light can't bounce off things. It just shines on them and lights them up.
Then how does your eye see them? The light has to get into your eye, so it has to bounce off things to get there. That's what I think.
Well, I don't. You just look at it. The sight goes out to the thing. That's how you see it.
But people are always talking about the speed of light, aren't they? So I guess it must move.
Sorry, can't stay. Anyhow, you'll see I'm right one day.
I can see already, and I can see I'm right.
Now answer the questions. 39. What is the main topic of the conversation? 40. Which of the following is true about the boy's point of view? 41. What does the girl think the light do? 42. How is the conversation ended?